It's time to use technology to optimize and simplify the fundraising process. So, what have we built over the last 10 months? This is the new way. I need you to help me build something great. You see, I have a personal project that I've been working on for the last year, almost full year, and it's almost time to launch. You see, you see me write entire newsletter posts on the fact that following your passion is terrible advice. You probably should check that link out. But what if you could actually, truly do it? I mean, follow your passion and be useful to others. Here's the TLDR for those who want to skip to the bottom. I've been in the racing world for years as an amateur and constructor for my son's racing. I know how to solve a big problem in the racing world, and I've built a technical MVP with really great momentum so far. So, I need your help. Let's talk about a history of racing. For many of my YouTube subscribers, you've noticed that I've been posting daily shorts of my deeper engagement into the racing game. One of my very first posts years ago was about my son's career into the racing world. Ever since then, we've only gotten more and more serious as a function of competence and success. My son has won series championships, a top performer both at the club and national level, and has been growing and maturing in the sport of racing at noticeable speed. I know the game of racing. I've traversed the ladder myself as an amateur. As an SCCA licensed driver, I enjoy my current position of being a gentleman driver or pay driver for teams that need an extra driver, or suddenly missing one. I've never claimed to be good as a race car driver. I won't ruin a team's race, and in most cases, I'm just good enough to keep average pace with the field. Sometimes I just tell the team that, quote, I won't make things worse. That's all I can really promise. Well, I've learned a lot, and I know a lot about this racing world, and racing is cost prohibitive. Ask any team principal or driver what their biggest constraint or issue is, and they will respond with, we need more money to race. Finding good drivers for a team is only secondary to the ability to support a team. Teams need sponsorship to support mechanics, coaching, travel, technology, and the car itself, because everything on that car is a consumable. Drivers need all of these same things. While the money aspect is a complicated problem to solve in that teams can relatively know what their costs will be to run a team for a season, the greater and more frustrating costs are time and relationships. What most people don't realize is that racing is psychologically expensive. The amount of time drivers and teams spend wooing and working with sponsors to work out a sponsorship deal is a cost that deeply impacts the overall effectiveness of a team. When dogfooding a team, all members of the team are playing an almost full-time role as a salesman and fundraiser, as well as their functional duties. How frustrating it can be to work out the deals of a sponsor. And if we're honest, most race car drivers aren't business people. Some of them are merely Neanderthals who only know how to go fast. This is okay, but the tax imposed upon small teams is immense. They must be able to sell and service their sponsors in professional and mature ways. Details must be discussed and negotiated, like sponsor amount, where the branding goes on the car, how many races, how much marketability and visibility is the sponsor going to get, what is the actual sponsor value, social media provisions, what events they're going to be at, and more. The short of it is, drivers and teams must be able to successfully convince a sponsor that the money they give and that they will give them and the advertising value of the sponsor's product, service, or company is actually valuable. This isn't an easy task to measure by any means. Oh, and of course, it's not only for racing drivers. Any athlete in the world or the motorsports world on land, water, and air have the same constraints. They need to find money and perform well. They need to perform well to keep money flowing. And we, the team that I'm working with for the last year, we are solving this problem. Now, there are even more technical problems to be solved, and I've seen many operational, management, and technological problems that need to be solved in the racing world. Many of these problems have become personal as my son completes his third full racing season. These problems aren't merely frustrating, but constraining and sometimes hurtful to the trajectory of a driver or team. To be quite frank, personally, I'm struggling with this myself. Team principals and drivers are not often business people. This is why they hire engineers, sales, marketing, etc. as a team grows in success and support. Even more rare is deep technical knowledge. The deepest that few teams get is hiring a couple people to build their website and maybe manage their social media channels. In many racing events, we're literally still pen and paper. It's 2023, my friends, and it's time for an upgrade. And I have a personal vested interest in solving these particular problems in racing because it's expensive, and that's all I do with myself and my son. So I found an intersection of my capabilities, passions, and invested interests, and I've been pulling on this string for almost a year now. Can it truly be possible to build, work, and be paid completely within your passion? Well, that's what I'd certainly like to try, and with your help, maybe we can do it. Someone asked whether I lived my passion in my past projects. The answer is yes. I've been fortunate enough to be able to find ways and always have work within my passions, whether it's agile, startups, Bitcoin, or venture investment. I've been blessed with the ability to direct my life in ways and find amazing colleagues to help support my investments and focus. But never before has my work included a direct impact to the family and the sport that I love. Very rarely do people of industry get to build something that directly impacts the success of their family. And in most cases, family is merely a receiving function of effort. They receive the output of work effort to bring money in. But what if you could say that your work directly impacted the financial success of your son or daughter? What if you could say that every waking day and every waking moment of your work was directly improving the career or life path of your progeny or the ones that you love? What if you could say that your work allows you to be working with your family every day? This rare gem of a situation, a rare convergence of factors, could it actually be possible outside of running a family farm? So, it's time to try following my family passion. I have built a technical platform and solution for the automotive and motorsport world that has already been proven in our early alpha user testing all throughout the last 10 months. Here's the problem. Racing drivers of any kind and racing teams need money to race. They're not well equipped or versed in fundraising, business, or technical engineering. So what's the solution? Making it easy for drivers and teams to quickly show potential sponsors the transactional details of money for brand visibility. And currently, there is no marketplace of available drivers and teams looking for drivers. We've already begun building this and with our soon-to-be-released partners. And there is no platform for drivers to easily input details of sponsor value and show their value to potential sponsors in the marketplace. And finally, there is no technological solution for drivers to quickly create sponsorship packages and take money in. What we've been able to do is we've been able to make this possible with only a few clicks. There is no global database of marketplace of vendors, retailers, and sponsors to reduce the cost of racing. So what if we were able to amalgamate and put all of this together? If I could just make life easier. You see, if I could make life easier for a team or a driver or a team owner to get money into race, would they actually use it? Every single person, every single driver, every single team principal, every single person on the track that I've talked to, that I've asked this question to, would you use a platform that would make it easier for you to get money in? The answer is always yes. So far, our early testers have validated that our platform and solution is exactly what they need. So, what's the old way of getting sponsorship to race? Well, number one, you contact family, friends, network, and colleagues. This is best done in person. Number two, you discuss the terms of the sponsorship. How many races? How much expected visibility? Where will branding go? Is it going to go in the suit, the car, etc.? And how will social be leveraged? And what events do I need to be at with co-branding considerations and more? This back and forth can take months, and it must be done year-round. Third, you have to create contracts to write, agree on, and close. Financials are shared and money in schedule. So we have to figure out when are we going to get the money, how much, etc. And number 4, branding collateral is created. You put it on livery, you put it on a suit, stickers. The first social media posts begin being pushed out to communicate partnership and sponsorship. And servicing the sponsor begins now for that driver or team. And number 5, of course, you have to actually perform well in races so that your sponsor actually gets the visibility they paid for. Aunt Jody might love you, but she ain't going to send you $500 every month this year to pay for one set of tires. You'll probably need 4 to 10 sets per month, depending on racing schedule. And she's a one-off sponsor. You see, racing is expensive. Drivers and teams must constantly be getting out there, fundraising, meeting people, building relationships, and somehow over time convince them to give them money to go fast. Don't forget, the driver needs to be performant. Performing well as a driver is hard enough of a job. It's time to use technology to optimize and simplify the fundraising process. So, what have we built over the last 10 months? This is the new way. GarageID.com. That's what we've built. Garage ID is the most elegant solution for any race team, driver, or aspiring speed demon. It's very simple. You sign up and fill out a driver profile. You tell us of your racing goals, costs, and what you need. Number 2, you upload your machine to your digital garage. We give you all the racing category-specific fields to tell us all about your ride. And number 3, you create one-time sponsorship packages or multi-tiered packages so that sponsors know exactly what they are getting for their money. And number 4, you connect a payment gateway and send your unique Garage ID link to anyone in your network. And number 5, closing the loop, sponsors can easily send you money, knowing exactly what they're getting. Don't be deceived here. A relationship still needs to be built, but creating a platform that reduces technology overhead isn't just something that I personally need for my son's racing career. It's something that the entire industry needs as a whole. The automotive and motorsport world is a $3.3 trillion industry. $95 billion is spent on consumers on car parts in 2021, an 18% growth year over year. The car market total addressable market, or the aftermarket TAM, in 2021 was $520 billion. 14 million people in the USA alone went to car shows in 2020. And when it comes to car events, this is a $17.3 billion total addressable market in 2019. $13,000 per year is the average spend per car collector. And on March 2022, Haggerty partnered with Polyphony Studios to embed the first marketing campaign inside a video game, Gran Turismo 7, with over 300,000 daily active users. $800 million per month is spent on automotive advertising in the USA in 2020, with expectations to increase 20% by 2025. You see, these are just some of the numbers of this market opportunity. And the point I'm trying to make is these numbers are just the car world. If we were to include boating, motorcycles, ATVs, ATX, planes, drones, big rigs, I mean, if it's in your garage, men like to race things, and they want to go fast, it needs to be in Garage ID. This is the goal. Create a digital abstraction of your real garage so that you can get discounts, so that you can get sponsorship, and you can get money to live your passions. That sounds so good, guys. The full market potential is staggering. And my friends, of course, I've done the math. But this is just the beginning. Through our year of building in the quick product development cycles, getting amazing feedback in a very agile fashion, of course, we found that our driver sponsor platform can encompass a larger automotive world with ease, without diluting core usability and focus. I'm excited to expand our platform beyond event ownership and driver sponsorship to our core functions right now. We have a long pipeline of needs from community feedback, including deeper event organization, shows, events, rallies, auctions, racing clubs, and community. Eventbrite just isn't cutting it. We're building our hours for the machine lover in mind. Another one that we're going to be working on is vehicle history on the blockchain. Moving vehicle history to the blockchain just makes sense for Garage ID. We're in Web 3 after all. A vehicle retail marketplace is what we're going to be building as well. If it's in your garage, you need to maintain it and service it. Tell us what you've got, and we'll send you retail service discounts. Easy cakes. eBay Motors has tried this, but conversion sucks and nobody is proud of their eBay turbocharger for their Civic. We can do a lot better. And of course, we're going to be increasing our functionality for race team management. Managing and supporting a race team is a complicated problem. It's not complex. This means that managing a race team is a known entity. We don't want every race team out there reinventing the wheel to get them off the ground. So we're building a scalable system for any team to build on. And of course, we're going to expand out as well race-specific categories. I want to build the largest marketplace for the world of racing, and we're building category-specific platforms for anything that goes fast. Again, cars of all kinds, bikes, ATX, ATV, motorsports, aerosports, drone racing, and more. If you keep any of your gear, equipment, or vehicle in your garage, it should really be on garageid.com and more. So, we're finally at the end of this video and the end of this newsletter post. Here's the first ask. 3 things that I need from you guys, if you're willing. In the next 7 days, I'm going to be launching my first ever Kickstarter campaign to try to crowdfund our project. I've never done this before. Usually I go for venture investment. But this is one of those challenges that I'm really excited about. The first thing I'd love for you to do is please subscribe to our Garage ID Project newsletter for updates. You can find that lower in the show notes. Check out garageid.com and learn about what we've been building. And finally, stay tuned in 7 days, my friends, 7 days for my first ever Kickstarter campaign. And let people in your network know. We have an amazing team that I'm ridiculously proud of, and we're just beginning. All the best.